Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Webinar Wednesday with Encon Electronics. Today we have RCS, Revenue Control Systems, and Steve is going to walk us through his entire system and let us know. They specialize in mini storages, parking garages, industrial facilities. Very simple to install, ultra reliable. It's just a very good product that's out there and being used by a lot of you. And we'd like to, give him the time to let you know a little bit more about it. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Steve, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you very much. Thanks for this opportunity. So my name is Steve Marcianti. We have a company here in Williamsburg, Virginia called Revenue Control Systems. We manufacture the access control systems. We're also installers here locally in Southeast Virginia. Primarily a family-owned business, me, myself, my son, my wife, all joining to run the production and all the operations. The equipment we make is 100% manufactured here in Williamsburg area. We design, develop, service, and support the electronics, the hardware, everything involved in these devices. Everything was developed here on site, the software, the firmware, you name it. And we also pride ourselves in the fast and free technical support by qualified technicians. We're all installers. I've been installing for close to 35 years. My son is, who's sitting here next to me, has been installing, he's been with me since he was 10 years old on job sites. So we're all very familiar with the access control and gate operators, gate access installations. We do specialize in self-storage equipment. We're very familiar with that, but all my products can be used at any kind of industrial gate or parking deck. We have features built in for parking applications and also specialized features for self-storage applications. Okay, so what I'd like to show you, I have three product lines. I have what I call U-Flash. It's this USB, which is virtually a complete access control device on a pedestal. And it has time zones, has all the features you would find in a standard, a traditional access control panel, but it's basically all in one box. It's self-contained and very easy to use. So it's great for remote locations where you don't have internet access, you don't have cabling, you don't want to pay a monthly fee. There's no monthly fees involved here, and you get unlimited support. So, and then the second type of system I have is a wired-based system, which I have sitting down here. I'll show you that at the end, but I think primarily, I think we're showing the US system. And I have a third system. I have a wireless system, wireless communications between the keypads with built-in antennas. And I'll show you that briefly as well. So the our signature product is this guy here. We call it U-Flash Keypad, and it's made with powder-coated aluminum enclosure, and we have two versions of it. We have the keypad version and the Prox Reader version. The keypad version, it has metal key. I don't know if you can see very well in the video, but has metal keys with backlights on each key, and it has a two-line LCD display, which is daylight readable, very bright. It's pretty much the best one I could find in the industry, in electronics, available in electronic parts. It's very daylight readable. It's two lines, 20 characters across. So it'll display the customer, the person's name, their access granted, or if it has a problem with their access, like time zone or access area, it'll display that on the screen for them to see what the issue is. And it also shows their code as they type it in. And I'm sorry you can't see it, but okay, well, you had it for a second. Anyway, you can see it in daylight. It's just on the camera, it's not that great. Okay, so the keypad itself could handle from 1 to 10-digit long codes. So I could have a 7-digit code, and you could have a 4-digit code, and Bob could have an 8-digit code, all mix and match simultaneously. Up to this unit handles 5,000 codes. So 5,000 codes, each code can be up to 10 digits long. So it's very secure. It has time zones. It has access area zones. It has a built-in relay timer. So it's like a 7-day timer function. It has, for the parking industry, it has a timed anti-passback function. Also, this has a master-slave version where we can do real hard anti-passback, where you have to use your code to get in or card to get in, and you have to use your card to get out, and before your card can be used again. But in a single version like this, it has a timed anti-passback. So you have to use your code to get in. You have to wait a certain amount of time before it can be used again. And that's very useful in the parking industry. So the enclosure has mounting holes on the back. We ship it with the seal on the back here, and we also ship it with the 4 mounting bolts. They're already in the holes there just for shipping. And you have your wire access in the center. The keypad and the card reader will work on 12 to 24 volts AC or DC. So it's very versatile, easy to install. You can pick that power up off of the gate operator or any keypad that you swap it out, like one of the little 4-bangers, keypads. You could just use the same power and same relay output. So you don't have to change any wiring usually. It's a direct replacement for any system. So 12 to 24 AC or DC, very versatile. And so you access the unit with the key here. It folds out on a hinge automatically there. It doesn't fall on the floor. However, it's very easy to remove for installation and service. And you just put it right back in the little hinge like so. So it's very easy to work for the technicians. You lock it back up, no screws to undo, pops right out. Okay, the inside of the enclosure has a ground lug, some wiring information, stickers, and Made in America logo. And okay, and now the main unit, this is the ground strap that goes to the ground screw inside there. And this can be pedestal mounted. It has a standard hole pattern that usually matches up with any pedestal, or wall mounted as well. All right, the controller is, again, we manufacture the circuit board 100% here in the US, right here in Williamsburg. We assemble the boards right here on site here. And the power comes in here on the bottom with the relay output all on one connector. On the side here, we have a Wiegand input. So you could actually have a card reader, a keypad, and a card reader simultaneously. Each controller has a available Wiegand input, 26-bit standard Wiegand format. It has alarm inputs. It has arming input, again, useful in the parking industry, and a egress input. So say if it's on a door and they just want to have a sensor to get out, you just wire it to that input and it'll fire the strike. And everything is logged on the flash drive, which I'll show you in a second. But that's it all right there. It has built-in surge protection on the power, automatic resetting surge protection on the power. So it's very robust. We've never had a real issue with people getting lightning strikes, but you know, that's just random how strong they are. It is possible damage, but we haven't had issues. Has a built-in beeper for the key presses, and that's about it for the physical aspects. Operationally, it's pretty cool. We think it's pretty cool. I'm going to switch to the software to show you the whole process of how you update the codes.
Amperage draw, someone's asking about.
Oh, amperage draw? We're probably looking at worst case 350 milliamps. 350 milliamps. Switching to the other view. There you go. Okay, this is our website, revenuecontrols.com. It has all the literature. Go to the different pages, John. U-Flash there. These are the other systems. This is the wired system. We call it on-site. And the wired system has an app. We have an app for remote access with your phone. And this is the wireless system. And that's what the app looks like. And we do have pedestals as well. And then you could download, we have some videos. You can watch videos of our system and some of our customers. And that's just demonstration videos. And on the support page, you could download all the PDF files and the actual program right there. KP Control is the name of our program. We're going to show you now in a few seconds. But you can download a copy right here. And that'll take you to a Google Drive page for the download. Okay? All right, so let's look at the program. All right, so this is KP Control. It's very simple to use. The top section, the blue section, is the customer database, your user database. And this system, again, it could handle 5,000 users. Each user could have up to a 10-digit code. And you could assign their access privileges with the access zone and the time zone here. And you could set expiration dates and some other features. On the bottom section in the yellow beige section there, whatever, that is the activity log. Now, how do we get the activity log into the system with the remote keypad? There's no wires, no network, no wireless, no internet, nothing. How do we do that? Well, we do it with a standard USB flash disk. And we do ship two flash disks with the unit. And there is nothing special about the flash disks. So if you do lose one or one gets corrupted, you could just buy one locally at Target or wherever and replace it. So we don't lock you in with any parts. So so here's the process of how you update the keypad and the card reader also. We stick a flash drive into the computer, and then we just hit this button, update USB drive. Go ahead and hit that, and it does all the updating on its own, and it tells you it's updating. And then once it's done, after about 10 seconds, it shows that it was updated and it imported the activity log from the previous time. So now we'll switch back to the live view. And where do we switch to? Stand by. Okay, so he just handed me the disk. So the next time the manager, the operator, goes out to the facility, the gate where the gate is located, and that could be right outside their office because they don't have wire conduits going across their parking lot to get to the keypad. It might be an old installation where they used to have this like a 4-banger keypad there. It could be right outside their office, or it could be across the street or 7 miles away. And then the system can handle up to 32 of these units. So you can have multiple sites, multiple locations, all controlled from my one software package. So the next time the manager decides they need to go out to the site, because on the self-storage facility, they normally go out there a few times a week. If it's on the other side of town, just to check to see nothing is damaged or anything. So they'll know that they're going out there, and what they do is they bring the flash drive that they just updated and the key to the unit, and they go out there, they drive out there, and to update the codes and to retrieve the transaction log, they go out there with the key, they open it up, tilts forward, they pull the existing disk out, they put that in their pocket, they take the new disk and they pop it in. And of course it takes 3 tries to put it in. Okay, put it in and you close it. That's it. And the unit will update. Evidently he didn't program that. Nice. So once it's done programming, still going, stand by. Takes about 30 seconds to finish the update, 30 to 45 seconds. Done. Now that has imported up to 5,000 codes, and it has retrieved the transaction log on the disk I pulled out. Then she can update as many keypads she has on site. She's going to bring a disk out for each unit, because what happens is you swap them. You take the original one that was in there back to the office. The one that was in the office goes out there. And keep remember now, when she did that, she did not need to press hit any programming mode, anything. She just opened it up and stuck the disk in. I'm gonna just do that again because I didn't like the way that did that. There you go. So this is it's updating again. It should go quicker this time. So she didn't have to know any programming sequences. She didn't have to go through some crazy procedure to input individual codes. We're bulk loading all the codes in her system and updating all the tenants in one shot. And what's great about that, she doesn't have to remember how to program it. Because what normally happens at these remote locations is they'll install it, they'll get the initial programming in there, and then a month or two later, nobody remembers how to program their keypad. So what happens after a few months, there's one code in there and everybody's using the same code. This now is fully ready to go. And if I just type a code we put in there, that one we got a payment due status. That code I happen to type in says their payment due is due. So we'll try a different one. And that was access granted. And it shows my name and it says access granted on the 2 lines. Okay, so the disk I bring back, we bring that back to the office, and actually let me put some transactions in this one. I'll just do that again. And then we'll import them into the system. So I did another payment due access, and I'll do what's another good code?
789.
789.
333 is locked out.
333. And this guy came up, John Doe, he's locked out. So these are all settings that can be done in the software. I'm going to pull it out and we'll upload that to the software. So this is the activity log being imported. Again, we bring the disk back, and hit the import. And so there's the import there. Those are the codes I just put in. There's the locked out, the payment due, there's the good code, and there was the first one I did that gave me the payment due. Okay, so we didn't have to have a special programmer. We didn't have to have an internet connection. We didn't have to have anything. We just did it with the flash drives. You just swap the disks. It's so simple. It's amazing. This has never been done before. Okay, so that's the keypad. The card reader works in the same exact manner. So except everything's identical, except it has the prox reader mounted on the front. Now you could use the Wiegand port for our a long range reader, as long as it's 26-bit standard Wiegand format. You pretty much can connect any read head that you have onto this unit. Oh, where are we doing, Bob? So it's identical, and the only difference actually is there's a keypad mounted on the inside, and that keypad is just for initial configuration and setup. So basically, the outside keypad on the keypad version, you initially set up the address, you configure, set the time and date on the unit, and some other options. Since we can't do it here in the front of this, we have a keypad on the back to do that. Okay, and that is password protected in both cases. And another difference is on the card reader version, we are using the Wiegand port connector. Okay. And it has an option for 2 separate relays. Normally we ship it with 1 relay, the primary relay, but there is an option. You can have a second relay. We can install a second relay if you want to have a second timer function. because our the timer software could activate either relay. Okay, and again, 12 to 24 AC or DC operation. Now this has a plastic rain guard here because we thought of when the manager opens this up, and you know they're going to do it when it's drizzling out. We decided to put a little rain guard here for when she pops the disc in. And that beep means it's loading, and it's starting to count. It takes it's less than 30 seconds. It's at 40% right now. It gives you a percentage readout on the screen. And it's at 60 now. And I don't know if you can see it. It's counting. Turn. There you go. 100%, and then it's done and it's ready. So it takes about 30 seconds, and it's ready to go. And so here I got some tags. There's a good one. Access granted. And whatever name we type in on the software is going to show up on the screen of the display. Okay. So that's that. Oh, go back to the software. In the software.
What type of card readers?
Huh?
What type of card readers is it?
Any 26. We ship it, if you want the card reader version, we ship it with it's a AWID 26-bit standard reading format. It's AWID brand. But these read heads will read both AWID cards and HID cards, 26-bit standard format. But like I said, if you want to just use the available Wiegand port in the keypad, and you could, any 26-bit standard Wiegand format will work. If you have a weird keypad, a weird prox reader that you're unsure of, you could ship it to us and we'll test it, make sure it works before you purchase it. We're happy to do that. But standard 26-bit format works great.
Bulk load codes.
Bulk load cards, we'll show you that right now. So somebody's asking if we have a bulk load function. Yes, we do. You hit the setup, and then down here in the lower left is a bulk load button. Go ahead and do it. You just set 3 fields, and we could load up groups of 100 cards at a time. And bang, they're in. So the card numbers, the name field, they just show card and a sequential number. So if you want, you can go back and edit them, but you can just leave them like that.
You're asking how many facility codes?
It handles, you can do 1 facility code at a time, or if you set the parameters in the setup here, you can set them to 000, and then that will be any facility code. So it's either 1 specific facility code or any facility code. So you could have multiple facility codes. Okay, so back to the software. I wanted to show you the reporting function. So there's 2 types of reports. There's a database report, which there's a report button on the top right there. Hit that. Now the top section becomes your search criteria. And again, just type card in the name.
Well, let's do this.
Whatever you want to do. So then you hit run search, and bang, the blue section now becomes your results. All the functionality of the software is built onto the main page here. And then if he hits the make report button, that'll give us a printable copy. So there's your printable copy of the report. And you can search by any of those parameters listed on top. Close that. And then for the activity, go back to the live mode, hit done. Okay, now for the activity log, there's another search report button on the middle right. Hit that. And then the center becomes your search criteria. You can search by date, you can search by name, by card number, by location, or by the event. So let's search all access granted. And now the bottom there becomes your results. And again, you can hit the make report button to get a hard copy for printout. Okay. And we showed you. Okay, so now a question will come up where storage facility. By the way, for self-storage applications list, my software interfaces with popular self-storage management software. So at any particular self-storage facility, they'll have a program there that does all their invoicing and keeps track of all their tenants for the accounting side of it. So when they hit the save button in that software, and here's a list of all the ones we currently interface with, SiteLink being pretty much the most popular. When they hit the save button in that software, it will automatically update my software. It will send that record, the code, and all the name, all their access privileges from the self-storage management software directly into my program. So there's an interface between the two programs, so it eliminates double data entry. Also, it keeps them synchronized for accounting purposes. That's a great feature for the self-storage industry. And okay, so then, so say we're at the self-storage office and we get a call, or we get a guy, he walks in the door and he needs a storage unit. And our storage facility is 3 blocks away, say. And this guy, he wants a code, and he wants to go drive in his truck and drive over there and put his stuff into his unit. But I'm the manager of the office, and I don't have time to. You would think I have to run out there with the flash drive and update the disk, the code, the unit, the keypad at the remote location. Well, no, you don't have to. What we have is a way to input codes ahead of time. They're called Temp Codes, and that's the column shown here on the right, John. These are Temp Codes. The system generates 25 temporary codes that were loaded the last time we went out to the facility. So those codes are already out there. When the new customer comes in, we take one of these codes and we give it to them as their permanent code. Once we edit that code and take it out of the temp mode, it becomes a permanent code. So that code already works. So we don't have to run out there with the disk every time. So we just tell that guy the code, he goes out there, he drives out there, and magically he puts that code in, and it works. So we've eliminated the need for wires and everything, and we still have real-time, almost, virtually real-time connection to it.
Couple of questions. He's asking how many uses on the temp code.
How many uses on the temp code? The temp codes, they're unlimited uses. They can be limited by date. We can put an expiration date on them and a start date and expiration date, but there is no actual, there's no counting specific number of uses. Actually, we started putting that into the software, but we never had a call for it, so we never finished it. But you can control it by the date, the start date and the end date.
Second thing, one-time setup.
One-time setup?
Yeah, he's asking one-time setup.
One-time setup of what?
He's saying you need to do the setup one time. Yeah.
On the keypad? Yeah, one-time setup. Yeah, initial setup, you set the address and some other parameters.
And he says, do you have to do it every time you update the database? So one-time setup in the software, one-time setup on the
Yeah, it's one time. You set up the database is always changing. You're going to add people, you're going to remove people, so that's always changing. But the configuration of the system, the number of keypads, the type of keypads, that's a one-time setup, as well as at the keypad itself. It's a one-time setup. To get into the setup mode, you hold down the start key for 5 seconds, and then you enter in there the setup code.
And I was asking in relation to the self-storage software. So one-time setup on the software side.
Yeah, the software is all one-time setup. Like say, so in the self-storage software, there's generally be a setup screen in the self-storage software where we tell it that it's communicating with KP Control, my program, and then in my software we set it. We go in here one time and we set the which program we're interfacing with, and then the two just talk to each other without any additional work to be done. Once they hit save in the self-storage management software, it will update in mine. No additional work needed. Okay. And then, so back on the setup on here, you can't see the screen too great, but the password I put in is the default password, but you could change that. And then you could sequence through the screens here for different settings in the keypad itself. Are they looking at video?
Another time, no, they're looking at this.
Oh.
Another question asking about time battery backup, coin style battery, if it's a coin style battery.
It has a coin cell battery in it, which it's specified for 11 years. And switch to the thing.
They should be able to see both.
The coin cell battery is located up here in the corner of the circuit board. It's in a little slide in and out kind of thing, so you don't have to solder it, but you can pop it out with the tip of a screwdriver and pop the new one in. And it's supposed to last for 11 years. We've yet to see one go bad. We've been producing this product for close to 10 years now, and they're installed all over the country, Canada, in the Bahamas, a couple of them. So they're all over the place. And we've yet to see a battery go bad. And so I wanted to show the setup on the screen here. Are we in video?
You want to show that?
Yeah. So the setup on the screen is you hold down the start key, and then it prompts you to enter in the setup password, which the default is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but that can be changed in the setup itself. And then you sequence through the screens with the pound key, and you set things like its address. There could be up to 32 of them in the system, in the software. So you set the ID for each one up to 32. And you could set other features like, well, let's just go through it. So you set the time and date here. And we have daylight savings time function. You can set the default password. We have the if it's an entry or an exit. Or do we want to use any passback? The relay timer, the relay time, how long the relay activates for. Are we a card reader, a keypad, or both? Do we want to use the input functions, the inputs? It configures the inputs, the two inputs. We have the standard mode where it uses the flash disk to check the codes, or it has another mode, we call it any mode. And normally you put in any mode when you're doing the initial install. And in the any mode, any code you type in on the keypad will open the gate. So it's just a temporary mode. You could put the keypad in. So on the install, before the management company comes in, people could use the gate. They just type any code in pound and it'll open the gate. We could also set the data entry, the code entry to be code pound, code star, or just a specific number of digits automatic. So no code, no star or pound, just type in 6 digits and then that will process the code. So as far as the data entry of the code itself, we could go at least 3 different methods. Code only, code star, code pound. Then we have the facility code. Like I said, the 3 zeros will be any facility code, or you can type in a specific facility code. We have a feature here, I call it enforce cards. If the card reader, if this unit is used for both card readers and a prox reader, because we can mount a prox reader here on the side where you can have code on the front and prox reader just wave your card on the side, or it could be to a long range scanner or something. We can make it so that the card numbers have to be, you can't type in a card number. So it forces you to use a card in the system if you turn on this enforce cards function. So basically you can't type in a card number. You have to physically have the card to use, if that makes sense. We have, so this is a setting of the bit pattern of the readers. I did have a multiple bit patterns, like 33-bit or something like that. I had that in there for a while, but right now it's just 26-bit, and then we also have a Wi-Fi converter, which converts from we're going to have an app soon. We have it for Android, but we're still working on it for Apple. And what it does is this unit here plugs into the Wiegand port on the board, right? And then this whole unit could stay inside here, okay? And what that does is when you using our app, which we could show you a screenshot of it. Once you're in proximity of the gate, within 10 or 15 feet of the unit, this your app will our app will pick up the Wi-Fi. This is generating a Wi-Fi signal, and the app will connect to this unit, and then you just you have your code in it. The app. We have a picture of it.
Not that one.
We'll show you
the
the
your phone. I don't know where your phone is.
It's right there. We'll show it. I'm going to show you on the phone. So anyway, it converts the Wi-Fi signal to a Wiegand output, which we feed right into the Wiegand input on our unit. So basically, we can make this work on an app. And this is a picture of the app. So basically, once you come into range of this unit, this will activate, and then all you have to do is hit the big green button in the middle, and it transmits the code to here, which converts it to Wiegand, which dumps it into the controller.
He's asking how far the range is.
Oh, the range is probably about 15 feet. And just only because, I mean, if you wanted a bigger range, you could mount this on the outside. Only because this is a metal box, so the range gets limited. So when this is in the box, we've tested like 15, 20 feet. But if you really need more range, it could be mounted on the front or on the side or anywhere. Okay. Okay, so that's that, and we have it again for the Android. We're working on it. Hopefully, we're going to release the Apple version by New Year. So that's currently on our development list. That's the top priority. Okay, so back to the setup, and we have a feature here where if the customer is in payment due status, if the management software says they owe money, we could allow access or not allow access. So even if they're in payment due status, I could still let them in. It's configurable in the system. We have timers, the auto timers. So the relay in the unit can be on a time schedule that's put into the KP control software, which is downloaded with the disk. And so this will keep its own 7-day timer built in. And we have holiday mode where we can set holidays in the software as well. And on the holidays, if you do come up with a day that's a holiday, you can decide if you want the gates to go up or to lock them down. So that's a yes, no. And then we have the override code. There's another code. Hold on, I'll show you that in a second. So if you hold down the star key, you get into the setup screen, the setup mode, after you put the password in. But if you hold down the pound key, after 3 or 4 seconds, it prompts you for the override code. And the override code is just a manual gate relay latching mode. So I could manually walk up to the keypad and force the gate open and leave it open all day until I turn it back off manually from the keypad. Okay. And so all those, the software is the same in the reader. Just has the reader on the front. And is that it for that? Okay, and the software, any more questions?
As of now, no.
Okay, software, show them the setup screens in the software. So in the KP control, we talked about the blue area is the database, the bottom area is the activity log. On the upper right side there is the list of the temp codes, so we don't have to run out to the gate every time to update somebody's code. And then we have, in the very top is where you put codes in. So here's how you put a code in. You hit the plus button, and then you just, you do it. Yeah, and then you just edit, go ahead and do it. You just edit the top as you like. We can group them by accounts. We could group them by the unit number field. You can set the status for valid, for locked out, or different status levels, and those levels will show up on the keypad on the display. We could do a latch code. No, put a code in, it stays, relay stays latched. Put the code in again, it unlatches. We have We have a auto expire function where you could just set a code for the future and turn it off at another time. We have a random button for the random codes, and then you have your selection for your access area and access zone, access time and access areas, depending on if you have multiple keypads, and then your start and end dates. Okay, and then you just hit the save button. There's also a multi-edit mode where we can edit multiple records in one shot. Go ahead and do that. Hit the multi-edit button, ME. You hit the multi-edit and you select the records you want to edit. Go ahead and do that. Just click them. Every other one, different ones. There you go. And now when I make changes up on top, say I want to set them all to locked out or something, or payment due, just set one. And then I hit the save, and now it's going to edit all those in one shot. So this is good for when they're managing a self-storage facility. You can edit a bunch of people at once or whatever. Okay, and then the setup. Let's go into the setup. Setup is very simple. My software works by all my systems. So this is right now we're in the USB mode, and then the other mode is the on-site mode. That's going to be my wireless system and my wired system. Which we'll get into next. But USB, U-Flash is this system we're talking about now with the flash drives. Here's where you set the management interface. You can leave it at none. When it's in the none mode, we could edit like I just showed you, we could add our own codes directly. When it's selected into one of the other management softwares, select the management software. If we set one of those, then we can't edit codes directly because that comes from the management software. This is for accountability. All the codes are added in the management software, so it disables the data entry in my program. This next field is for the app. We call it Codice. I'll tell you more about that later. And then there's just some options for different things there. There's the password protection. If you want to use that, you could put a code in there, and then the program will prompt you for a password when you try to get into setup or run the program. And then the bottom there is some default parameters, and below that is the bulk add function. And then here in the top right is the keypads. Go in there. What happened? Oh,
it's complaining with it.
Restart it. He made a change, so the program was asking to restart. We'll restart it. We back?
Yeah.
Okay, so back into the setup. We're in keypads. Here's where you could set up the keypads. One-time setup up to 32 keypads in the system. This is where you add them with the add on top, and you can name each one, give it the address, and set some parameters, entry or exit. Show them where you do the time function. So here's where you would put in the relay timers for the, not there.
Well, I'm just showing you.
So that one's an exit or whatever, I can't see it.
That was the exit ending.
Okay, let's go. And then here's where you set up the auto relay timer function, the 7-day timer thing. Here's where the table is for that. So you can set your open time and close time. You can set 2 times per day, an open close and an open close. And if you have the option for the second relay, it's in the third and fourth columns there. So for each day, you could set an open, close, open, close. All right, and then get out of that. Okay, so once you have multiple keypads on the top, up to 32, the bottom section is you could group the keypads. This is your access groups. So you could set up as many different access groups as you want. So you could have, access group 1 is the north gate and the south gate. Access group 2 is across the street and down the block. And so you can control who can get into which keypad and who can get into which keypad at what time. All right, get out of that. So the time schedules are the next button down. That's the time schedules there. And here's where you set the time zone. So there's a default 24-hour, and then there's a business hours, and then you could add up to 32 additional time periods, time zones. And then here's also where you do the holiday setup. So hit that holiday button. And so here's where you configure your holidays for how far out you want to go. Okay. Get out of that. And again, when the system knows it's a holiday, when the keypad knows it's a holiday, you can also decide if you want the gates to be locked off or open the gates. All right. And then we have other functions we call them non-tenant codes and visitors. The non-tenant codes could be used for like the manager of the facility. This is a non-paying person. We classify them as non-tenants. And you can also have the maintenance guy in there and stuff like that. Maybe the garbage guy coming with the truck, he needs to get into the gate. And then the other thing is, all right, hold on, let's finish go finish this page. And then we have visitors. Visitors is good in the self-storage industry. We use the visitors for auction buyers. So say somebody's delinquent on their rent for their unit, and the management company sells that unit to these guys who come and want to buy the units. They're auction buyers, they call them. And we could put them in here very easily because we can give them a start date and end date. And then what's nice about it, it automatically expired on the end date, take them out of the system, and the manager doesn't have to think about it anymore. She doesn't have to remember to go in there and take them out. Additionally, on the screen of the keypad, it's going to show the auction buyer when their code is going to get turned off. So they know they have usually give them 2 or 3 days to get the stuff out of the unit and be gone. So this automates the whole process. And all right, what's the question?
If you pick a holiday like Thanksgiving, is it going to update the date for the correct day the following year?
No, they have to be manually entered. The holidays need to be manually entered. You can set 30 of them. You can put, Thanksgiving in there 3 times probably for the different years. But no, they do not update automatically. Okay. All right. So any questions specific to the USB system we call UFlash? And we do pride ourselves on our support. Everything comes with a 2-year warranty. We're always available via phone, virtually 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 360 a year. We're very. I come from an installer background, field service technician for 30 years, 35 years. So I know that when your technician is out at the site and they will need an answer quickly, we are here to answer the phone immediately. If for some reason we don't answer the phone, it just means we did not get your message. So we always tell everybody to, if you don't hear from us in 10 minutes, call us again, because sometimes a voicemail acts weird. Our goal is to answer the phone immediately and help anybody at any time. And since we have a broad knowledge of access control, gate operators, sliding gates, lift gates, swing gates, we've done it all. Alarm systems, we can handle any call that comes to us immediately. Okay, any other questions on that? And again, everything is manufactured 100% here in Williamsburg, Virginia. All right, so that's the USB system. We can continue to show you the this other guy. The form factor is a little different. They both have the hole in the back. Comes with the mounting bolts. This one doesn't have them in there though. Oh, no foam on this one. They both will come with the foam seal and the mounting bolts, the carriage bolts. Okay, and so this one's just a little fancier. It has our logo here, RCS on site, it says, and same key, same materials, powder coated aluminum, and has the same hinge mechanism for easy install and service if you need. The wired system has a tamper switch. Right now it's communicating. Okay. And grab an intercom one. So on this guy, again, everything is manufactured here. Circuit board, the software, the firmware, everything is here. We have one relay on here, option for a second relay. This has an optional weekend input normally for the wired system, unless we know it's going to be a reader. We don't install the reader thing, but it's optional. It's there. It has also an option for an intercom. This is the intercom version, built in, compatible with a phone. So basically, this has a built-in LED. Okay. And that terminates directly on the circuit board, built in. And again, we have surge protection on the input, 12 to 24 AC or DC for the power input. Everything is pluggable. It's designed for service and dependability and ease of install. That's our main goal. That's where my background is. That's where my son's background is. By the way, my son is graduate of Virginia Tech, mechanical engineer. I'm self-taught. Okay, and again, we found the brightest daylight readable display I could find. I went through 5 years of finding a right display for these guys. This is the best one I could find in the world. I researched everywhere. We do so we don't make the display. That is a part we do buy, but the main circuit board we do manufacture that. So built-in surge protection on the power, resettable, self-resetting surge protection. So if it takes a hit, it'll shunt the surge to ground and then be ready for the next strike. It's built in on the circuit board, and that's for the power and the RS-45 communications. There's another connector here for the RS-45, 2-wire daisy chain, multi-drop, up to 32 of the wired keypads on the data line as well. Same backlit keypad, metal. Okay. What else you want to show?
Yeah, the box.
Oh, I just want to show them this real quick. The intercom version. I don't have a circuit board in this one, but the intercom is here. This speaker is, again, I researched it for years. It's a Mylar plastic cone. It's waterproof. It's the loudest. It's louder than the iPhone LED speaker. It's this amazing speaker I got on here, and it's the best I could find in the industry. Just because I know that when the car drives up in front of this thing, that speaker needs to be loud, and this baby's loud. Okay. All right. So the wired keypad, we call it on-site, and Johnny, put the software into the on-site mode. So Johnny's going to switch the mode of the software. Here's how you do it. You just change it to on-site. Oh, and then it's going to ask to restart. So we restart it. What are we looking at?
You right now.
Me. Okay, so here's the controller for the on-site system, the wired system. Hold on, I'm stuck in the wires. All right. Let me get this out of the way. And there's LEDs built onto the board for communications and power and relay activation. So as far as troubleshooting goes, it's very easy to troubleshoot. Okay, the controller. So this controller is for the wired system, and it can handle up to 32 keypads or readers, and it works with our app as well. The app for this system is a little bit different than for the USB system. We'll explain that in a second. And this unit here, by the way, is a wireless version. Is also a wireless version. I have the antenna on this one. So this unit, we call it the System Manager, or Sysman for short. And currently, could they see the software?
Not right now.
No.
I can do it in a second.
Go ahead. So the software now is running in the wired mode, and it's getting real-time transactions from the System Manager right now. It's updating its activity log because the System Manager stores the data until it's connected to the computer. And if you look in the lower left-hand corner of the KP control program, you can see it tells you that what port it's on and that it's online. Okay. So the software is very similar to the USB system, but there is some minor differences. Like the update USB button is now replaced by a on-site and a controls button. Show those real quick. So on-site will tell us real time who's on site currently in the facility.
I'm not sure they can see that.
You're not sure they can see that?
Ask if they can see it.
I don't know if you can see that screen or not.
We see it, okay.
Okay, and then also a controls button where you could open the gates remotely from the software. And you could command the gate to open, you could command the gate to open once or hold open or turn the timers on and off through the network, through the RS-45 network, which is very robust. It'll run on virtually any cable, but we do recommend specific cables. And up to, I mean, we've had keypad systems installed out there now up to 4,000 feet of wire.
He just asked about that.
I would definitely recommend 18 gauge wire if you do that. And of course, it has to be shielded. I would not use Cat5 for any RS-45 communication. Okay, so back to the controller. Let me see the video. Oh, go. All right, let's talk about the controller. Okay, so controller is in this box, and it's got mounting holes, of course, all that good stuff, knockouts, and what I've found. What I found is we invented another feature. So what I found after doing this manufacturing for 10 years, I found that some installers are a little bit lazy, and instead of using the knockouts and bringing the wire in there, either just bare wire or through conduit or something, they're very lazy in some cases because I've seen pictures. And what they'll do is they'll just bring the wires in the front and they won't close the box. I could not believe this, but it's evidently very common. And they just bring the wires in the front and they'll leave the box open. Okay. So I said, well, this is ridiculous. I'll make it easy for them. And what I did was I put a slot, this cutout slot with, it has a grommet around it so it doesn't hurt the wires. All right. So they just put it in this damn slot. And now you can close the box. And I think that's the greatest invention. See that? So because we have the installation background, we can pick these things up and apply them directly to our products. So I call that the quick installation slot. Of course, it still has the knockouts. If you want to use the knockouts, go for it. But this makes it a lot easier. Okay, again, thinking about the installers. Now, on the box, of course, here, it shows you the wiring and technical data.
He's asking if we have a cover for that slot, optional cover.
I do not have a cover for the slot, but if you don't want it, let me know and we'll send you one that doesn't have it. Or I could probably 3D print something very quickly. So if you really want it covered, let me know and we'll do that for you. So on the sticker on the box tells us all the wiring information and technical data. We put our phone number on every product, so you could always call us if you need us. We have our phone number everywhere because we don't want you to have any problems. We have right on the keypad is our phone number. So for technical support if you need it. And so the stickers in here have the phone number for us to call us anytime. It comes with the battery backup unit. There's 3 ways you can interface this to the office computer. We ship it with a USB cable, 4 ways. Wi-Fi. We ship it with a 15-foot USB cable. We also ship it with a Ethernet cable. It's a short one, it's only 3 feet, but figure you plug it into a switch nearby. But it'll communicate on a network. And also it has a serial cable, a 9-pin serial interface. So you can connect USB, serial, Ethernet, and actually we do also have a Wi-Fi option as well. So you can actually put this in the back room where the wires come in and the computer could be in the front office. and we can actually Wi-Fi to the unit. And actually, that's great. I think it's great because it isolates the surge from the computer to the wiring in the field. It isolates them. But
he's asking if it has power over Ethernet to power the system.
No power over Ethernet. Yeah, the power, we ship it with the transformer. So it ships with the transformer. The unit will take, again, 12 to 24 AC or DC. So it's very versatile, and we ship it with the transformer. The keypads, we do not ship with the transformer because we figure you can pick the power off the gate operator.
It's in the unit.
What?
It's in the unit.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting to that. So the USB keypads do not ship with the power supply. You can pick it off the gate operator, 12 to 24 AC or DC, right? The online system on site, we don't ship the keypads with the power supply either, but they do take 12 to 24 AC DC. You can pick it off the operator. Also, the system manager provides power for up to 5 keypads, optionally 10. We could boost the power supply to 10 keypads. So you could, with the option, power 10 keypads directly from the system manager. The 12-volt output is on the terminal block right next to the communication connector, the RS-45 connector up here on top. So basically it has 2 connectors on top, the AC power coming in from our transformer, and then the communications and power going out, RS-45 communications and 12-volt DC power going out to the keypads. Again, this is a shielded cable. Each pair is individually shielded. So there's a pair for the RS-45 communication, and that has a shield around it. And then there's another pair with the 12-volt DC coming out, and that's also shielded, all in one jacket. This is a Belden cable that we highly recommend. It's the proper cable to use for RS-45 communications. But like I said earlier, RS-45 is very robust. It'll work on virtually any cable as long as it's not damaged in some way. And we do specify, we have literature that shows the specification on the wire. But you should always use shielded cable for these outdoor installs. 4 different ways to communicate to the office PC, and built-in power supply, 5 keypad power supply, optional 10 keypad power supply. Has a real-time clock, also with a coin cell battery backup. It has the backup power for the whole unit and the keypads. Additionally, this could communicate over the internet. So if you have a remote site, our software can communicate to our panel over the internet.
It's not showing right now.
What's not showing?
The software.
Oh, software. Okay, so that is our system manager, or sysman, we call it. Now, want to look at the software? So let's show you the changes in the software. We'll switch to that. Do they have it?
Not yet.
Okay, so the difference in the software as far as for the wired system is, like I said earlier, the update USB button is gone, and now the controls button and the on-site button is there. The rest of the interface is pretty much the same. The setup, hit setup. And of course, now we're getting real-time activity and updates, and it still interfaces with. So I'm gonna put a code in here, and it should pop up. There it is. And what was I saying? The interface is the same. The difference is in the setup screen. There's some additional buttons here. The left side is identical. The keypad setup is identical. The time zones is identical. We do have a multi-site button. I don't know if I said that earlier. This software can control multiple sites. So this one software could have completely 2 databases running from 2 different management software. So like sometimes in the self-storage industry, you'll have a management company that's monitoring multiple sites. They may or may not be from the same owners. So they may or may not keep separate databases. My software could handle any combination of that. So we can have multiple instances of my program running, communicating through different channels, through USB or internet, to these different system controllers mounted out in the field through the internet. Okay, all can be controlled by the software. By the way, I never charge for the software. The software is free. You can download it off my website. When you buy a system, you get the software. No additional charge. We do not charge for updates of the software. So Windows comes out with a new version. We'll put a new version on our, if needed, we'll put a new version on our website. You just go ahead and download it. Okay, so the differences are there's some download buttons here in the upper right. Just sends the data to the system manager for initial configuration. Okay, and then there's a button here, System Manager Setup. Press that. Here's where there are some parameters to set up the COM ports, or if it's in the internet mode, you set it for IP mode. Go ahead and set it for IP mode and show on that screen.
It's not going to connect.
I know. So here's how you would set your IP address. Hit it. So here's where you set the IP address of the controller. It could be on the local network, or it could be on a remote router somewhere else in the world. Okay. And then down below there, you see that's if you had the Wi-Fi option, you could set the Wi-Fi parameters there. All right. Get out of that and set it back to that. 50.
Yeah.
These are, oh, by the way, if you don't know the COM port of your computer, you can manually set it here if you know how to do that from control panel. You can get that information, or it has an auto mode where it will find the COM port automatically and communicate to the system manager by itself. Okay. And again, that comes from years of working on other people's software, trying to figure out where the hell do you set the COM port. So I made it automatic. Okay, so next, that's Keypad baud rate stuff there. We have an option for 9600 or 19.2. Okay, we haven't showed you the wireless system yet, but this is where the wireless keypad configuration is set up. And we have a little chart there that shows the trade-off between the speed of communications and range. So depending on your facility, we would pick the correct parameters there to handle the distance and the speed of communications. And so if you do sell a wireless system, we always ask that you communicate with us so we could Google the site and get an idea of distances and stuff. So we want to make sure it's going to work for you. Otherwise, we won't sell it. But you know, we always want to double check the facility first before we sell you a wireless system. So the wireless system, which we call AirLink, is the hardware is very similar to the on-site system. This happens to, again, switch. This happens to be a on-site system manager. Only difference being it has the antenna, this little antenna on top. What's the matter?
He's asking about the Ethernet stuff. The Wi-Fi, he's asking if it's 2 or 5 gigahertz. It's both.
We can do both, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. Yes.
And he's asking if it's DHCPs or if it's a static address.
We don't use, we disabled the DHCP functionality, and it's just static. You just type it in, and it's just very simple. The DHCP we found is undependable, and you just type the number in. Okay. All right. So the difference in the AirLink system manager is, for instance, we add the antenna to it, and it plugs into the circuit board. That's the only difference. And on the keypad, I have one with an antenna. This is for demo purposes. It would be in the same enclosure as this, the wide enclosure, which has a thinner profile. This one has the wider, but so this antenna that's on here, you can see it. It's about 1 inch tall, and so this antenna is the antenna that would be mounted on the this guy. Okay. But that's what it looks like. Same one that's on here. And our goal here is to provide a wireless system that you didn't have to goof around with antennas or masts or poles. It's built on to the keypads and the controller. And we're getting range up to a mile, line of sight. easily could handle a average self-storage facility or transmit data across the street to their remote lab across the street or even down the block. The keypads we have built into the firmware and the software setup, different options as far as the keypads can act as repeaters. So we could do different combinations. We can go, and there's a video on my site that shows some of these options. We can go from wired to wireless. We can go wireless from here to another keypad and then convert back to wire. Any combination you could think of, we have it built into the software, just setting which one you want in the settings on the keypad. So what are some of the examples, John?
It's wired to wireless.
Can you hear them?
It's wired to wireless. We could do wireless to wireless or wireless to wired. So that covers all of the possible scenarios of setup.
Yeah. So it's very versatile. However, we do want to do a site survey, via Google Maps of what the site looks like, just so we can be sure that it's going to work. Now, also additionally, you have a site you're bidding, quoting on, and you're unsure, we can send you a pair of testers where you put the tester in the office where the controller is going, and you take the other tester out to the location, you hit the button, and it'll tell you if you've got signal. And so you'll know right away if it's going to work or not. So we could ship you the ones we got, or we could tell you how to get your own. You let us know if you get to that point. Matter of fact, you might already have them. Okay, so the user experience is identical to the wired system. It's just easy to implement as far as a wireless system goes. Okay, any other features there? Of course, the wireless system doesn't have the intercom option because you don't have any wires.
System and relay timers as well.
So also in the system manager, there are 2 relays available in here, which we could also set up as timer functions as well. Or in the software, you could tell if somebody puts a code in the keypad, we could fire the relay here, but we could also simultaneously fire a relay in any other keypad. So they sort of could link together. I could fire any relay in the system from any keypad, including the ones on here. So it just helps in wiring configurations, because if it's a existing install, you might be limited to what wires are already there. Any questions? Any new ones? No? Okay. What else you got?
Just look at documentation. That's about it.
You good? Okay. Well, I guess we're done. A lot of information on my website. Oh, the other app. Let's show the other app. So I have two apps. One was the one that uses the, I can't see the screen. One is the one that uses our Wiegand, our Wi-Fi to Wiegand converter that is used in the USB system. Okay. And I showed you that app earlier. It had the big green button. Then for the wired system and the wireless system, it's a completely different app. And the USB system, this app is limited to the 20-foot range around the keypad. The app for the wired system and the wireless system is global. So with this app, it looks a little different, and this can be this is customized for the customer. In other words, we'll talk to the customer and get his logo. Oh, it turned black.
Yeah, you inverted the colors.
I inverted the colors. Sorry. We could put a custom logo on top. There is some buttons on the bottom where we could have a button call the office. Have them call directly to the manager, and then another button that could link to their pay online page. So a lot of self-storage facilities will have a pay online function, and we could link to that directly on our app.
That may actually be set up for this site already. You're in manager version.
Oh, I'm in the manager. All right. So the app has 2 versions. It has a manager mode and a tenant mode. This is actually the manager mode, and the difference is the manager mode has another button where he could manually open the gate instead of sending his code. So there's two fields. One is the field where the code is, and there's a send button. And then under that, there's a command button that he could set to, lock a gate open, block a gate out, open it once, whatever. And then he also has a button here that has the activity log, so he can see the activity log in real time. I don't know if you can see that. So that's the actual activity log on the software.
And multi-site control.
And we have also control that the manager version has multi-site control. So the first button on top is the site, and it'll prompt you for which site you want. I have 3 sites set up. And he would select the site, and then for each site, then he could hit the next button. It shows you which keypad, which gate.
Which is per site.
Per site. So, different configuration per site, depending on which site he picks, they'll have a selection of which gates are available. And it shows the name for each gate. So he selects which gates he wants, and then he can hit the send button. And it says that your code has been sent to the system. And
I don't know if that's actually set up.
yeah, we don't have it set up in Codice. So it's not configured yet. This site is not, this demo is not configured for it. So anyway, so he can do that from anywhere in the world. Now the tenants version does not have the command button. By the way, the reason why it doesn't work is, you want to switch it real quick?
Well, it's
when they purchase this option, the phone app is an optional purchase, and that's configured here in this Codice field. We give you a code number that goes here that will identify your app with this particular site. So that's not the correct number for this. We don't have it set up correctly, but that's what we would activate it by just typing in the correct number there. Okay, go back to the video. All right, so so in the tenant version, is different. It has to be in proximity of the gate. They have to have their GPS turned on, and they can only open the gate on their site, and no command button, no activity log button. So there's limited functionality, and they have to be within proximity of the gate. And we could set that proximity zone through GPS, so we can make it as big or small as you like, because we're configuring it in the cloud. Now this app there is a monthly fee for the app use. And that's the only thing we charge monthly. If you want the app, we do charge for the app monthly.
It's not required.
It's not required in any way. What else about the app? So 2 versions come with it, the manager version and the tenant version. The manager version can work anywhere in the world, and the tenant version is local.
You can still lock people out. Works the same way.
Oh, by the way, so when you put the code in, here in the app, it's just as if you typed it in on the keypad. It's processed in the same way. Time zones checked, area codes checked, payment status checked. All the functionality of the keypad checking is done when you send the code from here. It's not like this is just opening the gate. No, it's just like you typing in a code.
And the transaction.
And it shows up in the activity log as a phone app usage.
Is the app per user or flat monthly fee?
Flat monthly fee, unlimited users.
Per site.
Per site. So every one of these, if you have one of these, it's a separate fee. But there's no number limit to the amount of users on the site. I think that's it. Watch the videos on my website. There's a couple of funny ones on there. We hope to hear from you. And if you ever need a quote, specific quote for any of the configurations, just call me up or email me, steve@revenuecontrols.com. It's on my website. And
that's the other email, Steve-RCS.
Oh, Steve-RCS@cox.net. All right, done. There's a little show over there. That's on the website.
All right. Any other questions out there? Looks like we're clear right now. Wow. Steve, thank you so much. This is a very impressive product.
Thank you very much.
Made by installers for installers. That's something that everybody really needs to pay attention to. That is, he's really thought this out, and got so many options and so much information that you can use and make this thing work how you need it to work for your site. They've been around 10 years. Everything's made in the USA. This is a product that can work at multiple sites. It doesn't even have to be just for these mini storages that we've been kind of really stuck talking about today, but this could really work in a lot of different scenarios.
Another great application on the USB side is gun clubs, remote gates they have in the woods, boat ramps, boat clubs, stuff like that that you don't think of normally. Camps.
Yeah, camping sites. There's a lot of those. Yeah. Wow. A very secure software, very expandable, very user friendly. I can't say enough good things about this. I'm really liking this. I mean, you really need to look at this for your different sites. This is a product that can really work for a lot of different things, and Encon is behind it 100%, and we're going to do everything we can to help you out. And obviously, Steve and his family are fully invested in this, and they are going to do anything and everything to help you if you need the help. With that, I just want to say thank you very much, Steve. This was very informative. We really enjoyed the time spent, and we'll see everybody here again next Wednesday for another Webinar Wednesday at Encon. And again, thank you to everyone. Thank you. Revenue Control Systems. Very good. Very good product.
Thanks a lot.
Have a great day.